NBA free agency is finally here, and there have been a lot of great moves for a lot of teams so far, but the one team that has easily won the offseason so far is the Houston Rockets. I don't even think this is close. If you already weren't high on the Houston Rockets after acquiring Kevin Durant, you have to be high on them now because everything that they have done has only been additive for this team. Because not only did they end up getting Dorian Finney-Smith from the Lakers, who's a really nice 3-and-D player, they also got Clint Capella coming back to Houston, who's still a decent lob threat, a decent rim protector, and offers size and depth to this center position for the Houston Rockets because, I mean, they already had Steven Adams re-signed. And as much as I love Al-Farouq Sengun, he's not exactly the greatest defender or rim protector out there. So now looking at this Houston Rockets roster, I mean, they've got depth, they've got size, they've got versatility. I mean, if you really want to think about it in the simplest terms, they got rid of Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks for Kevin Durant, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Clint Capella. That's just great. And because of all these moves, on top of the fact that you have Ime Udoka, who is clearly one of the best head coaches in the NBA, Houston has become a genuine championship contending team. Now, to be completely honest with you, I liked Houston last season. They were the number 2 seed. They had a lot of promise. They had a lot of young talent, but I wasn't very convinced that they could make it super far in the playoffs. And ultimately, that's what we ended up seeing. Jalen Green ended up being such a giant disappointment. I mean, this dude is one of the most up and down players I think I've ever seen. The guy just has unreal athletic ability, and I really thought for a second there he could be the superstar that we have seen in glimpses in spades. But it was just not happening. So now he's in Phoenix with Devin Booker. I hope Phoenix ends up doing decently. I kind of feel bad for them and Phoenix fans, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just go back to the Houston Rockets. Because the last time that the Houston Rockets were actually title contending team was back in like the late 2010s with Chris Paul, James Harden, Clint Capella, PJ Tucker, so on and so forth. A legitimate argument could be made that they could have won the NBA championship if the Kevin Durant Warriors didn't exist. Or if they just didn't have one of the worst three-point shooting performances, I think actually the worst three-point shooting performance ever in that Game 7 against that Warriors team. This Houston Rockets team, I think, is just one of the best overall teams in the league. They actually kind of remind me of OKC in some ways. Because when we look at the depth chart and the players that they have here, I mean, they have everything that you could possibly want. They have size, they have versatility, they have youth, athleticism, shot making, spacing. And most importantly, this is something that Houston genuinely just truly needed last season to make it somewhere in the playoffs. They have someone that is a clear shot maker. They have a clear closer in Kevin Durant that never shies away from those moments and is one of the best in history in those moments. In Phoenix, because of the fact that he was playing with Devin Booker, there was sort of a sense that just kind of wondering, okay, who's going to be the guy taking the last shot? Who's going to be taking the big shot, him or Booker? And it made sense. Devin Booker, one of the better shooting guards in the league. It made sense. But in Houston, there is no question Kevin Durant is the top dog. He will be taking that shot for Houston. And like I mentioned earlier, because Kevin Durant is on this team now, it is going to help unlock some of the Houston Rockets' best young players. I mean, Amen Thompson already took such a huge stride, a huge step forward this season. Now it's only going to be even better. Jabari Smith Jr. is also, I think, going to have another big year forward. Tari Eason is going to go crazy too. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself too much, right? Like adding a very great player like Kevin Durant on this team, for their first year, you can't truly expect them to go all the way. I mean, it's so rare for like a big player to go to a brand new team and just win the whole thing altogether. I mean, as much as people like to say, oh, they should definitely win the championship, there's a lot of things that go into it. But given the experience that Kevin Durant has now, I mean, it's certainly more plausible than ever before. In fact, there's a legitimate argument to be made that this is the best team, the best overall team that Kevin Durant has been on since the Golden State Warriors. Winning a championship in Houston, his third championship and maybe even a third finals MVP, would absolutely save. I mean, not that his legacy needs saving, because I think Kevin Durant's legacy is pretty well cemented at this point. But you know what? That's a whole other topic for a whole nother video. The point is this: the Houston Rockets have arrived. They have a squad. They have so much depth on this team with great leadership all around. To be completely honest with you, outside of OKC, how many teams out there do you really think are actual, genuine championship contending teams? Maybe the Denver Nuggets? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what Boston's going to do, to be honest with you. But I do think at the end of the day, after all these moves, that Houston has reached OKC as clear title contenders. And that's super exciting. Please let me know in the comments what you think about the Houston Rockets after all these moves. And until next time, peace.